Pokémon. Monsters that fit in your pocket, creatures that reside in small balls, creatures based off of many different real-life things that battle one another to help their trainers reach desired goals.
Screw it. Yes, I'm doing it again. Except this time, I'm not just gonna cover my top 50 favorite Pokemon. I'm going the extra mile and counting down my top 100 favorite Pokemon of all time. As always, before we start, we have to set some rules. I judge my favorite Pokemon based on design and a few other things, not always accounting for battling skills. I may mention them, but they won't always impact my choices. Also, these are by no means the best Pokemon, i.e. ones that the majority considers the best. It is all my opinion and no one else's. I'm speaking for myself only. Also, this list will not include legendaries or ultra beasts. I like these Pokemon, of course, but if I were to include them, they would overtake this list completely. Additionally, I'm sure many of you have my original Pokemon countdown on your minds, and I'm going to answer all of your questions right now. I'm redoing this list for a number of reasons. One is because since I made my last list, my rankings have changed quite a bit. The second is because since then, again, there's been a new generation released. And the third reason is because in that first list, I just used pictures and no game footage, which I regretted. So don't call it remaking, I'm revising this list. In a nutshell, if you've seen my original list, just pretend it doesn't exist. And if you have not seen it, then good. This list will work better as a surprise that way. Alright, I know most of you don't like long-winded intros, and I've said everything I need to say, so let's rock. Kicking off this list is a Pokemon from Kanto. It's dual-typed. It has sky-high defense. It's Cloyster. Cloyster has a pretty clever design. An oyster with a face and a huge shell with spikes that it can use to protect itself. Also, that expression. For a Pokemon that spends so much time in isolation, that's one happy-looking face. Sorry, that's all I really have to say about Cloyster's design. So let's move on to battling skills. Cloyster's base stat total is 525, which is very good. And as I said before, its best stat is defense. 180? Insane. It also has pretty good offenses and surprisingly good speed. And crazy low special defense, which makes no sense if you ask me. Onto abilities, Cloyster can have Shell Armor, Skill Link, and Overcoat, which in different situations are all good. My personal favorite is Skill Link. As for Cloyster's move pool, for a Pokemon with limited physical qualities, it's surprisingly diverse. It can learn several potent attack moves and status moves. As type coverage, Cloyster has 4 weaknesses: Electric, Fighting, Grass, and Rock. Water covers Rock, and Ice covers Grass, and it can learn Mud Shot for electric types, and Flying or Psychic Hidden Power for fighting. Yes, Cloyster is a very viable battler and just looks really cool, so it's no surprise that it easily earns 100th place on this list. Number 99 is from Sinnoh. In the Pokemon universe, it's a stereotypical Pokemon. You might be wondering, what does he mean by that? And I mean, it's a regional bird. Yeah, Staraptor. For design, we've got a really cool looking bird of prey. I'm not much of a bird person, but if something looks cool, I won't ignore it, no matter how much I would dislike it otherwise. That's not to say I dislike birds, because I don't. I'm just not crazy about them. But I digress. For a regional bird, Staraptor has some good battling skills. A BST of 485 is a good start, and just look at that attack and speed. Talk about an effective physical sweeper. For abilities, Staraptor can have either Intimidate or Reckless. I think Intimidate's the better choice, since lowering an opponent's attack stat is more useful than boosting recoil moves. In my opinion, at least. Staraptor's move pool is pretty good also, with a few powerhouse attacks like Brave Bird in close combat, and a lot of other useful moves. Onto type coverage, in Electric, Ice, and Rock, Staraptor has 3 weaknesses. Close combat can cover Ice and Rock, so Electric is the only type to worry about. And looking at the anime, Ash has a Staraptor. I guess he's pretty cool, but not the most noteworthy Pokemon the anime has to offer. But forget about that, Staraptor. With epic battling skills and an insanely cool design, you easily earn 99th place. Number 98 is another Sinnoh Pokemon. It has 1 pre-evolution which hails from Johto. It has 4 arms. It has a gender difference. It's Ambipom. With this one, we've got a rather cute looking monkey with 2 tails and large hands on each one. This is a nice upgrade from Apom, who only has one of those. Ambipom also has a few nice features, like its bangs, hairs, nose, ears, legs. I'm getting carried away. Yes, Ambipom has an overall cute looking and just plain cool design. Onto battling skills, Ambipom's base stat total is 482, which is pretty good. Most of this goes into its speed and attack, like a physical sweeper, and the rest of its stats are meh. For abilities, Ambipom can have Technician, Pickup, and Skill Link. Again, I think Skill Link is the best choice, not only because it's one of my favorite abilities, but also because I find Pickup rather useless and Technician rather inferior. So far, this is pretty good overall, but just not the most impressive skills I've ever seen. However, if we look at its move pool, it's very diverse, like most other normal types. It can learn a lot of moves from a wide variety of types. Yes, this also means that it can easily take care of fighting, its only weakness, with moves like Aerial Ace, Acrobatics, Bounce, and others. And the anime, yeah, Dawn has an Ambipom, which she got from Ash in a trade. Then she gave her away so she could pursue a career in Pokemon Ping Pong. Ping Pong! But whatever, at least she still owns it. But it's better in contests and not stupid ping pong! Alright, sorry, I'll calm down. Overall, Ambipom is decent in battle, but it's both cute and cool design that makes me like it the most. Also, as you should be able to tell by its name, Ambipom is ambidextrous. This makes it similar to me, since I'm ambidextrous also. Just wanted to point that out. So, Ambipom is my 98th favorite Pokemon for these reasons. And not stupid ping pong! Number 97 is a fossil Pokemon from Kalos. That's right, Tyrantrum. What can I say? I've always liked dinosaurs and other prehistoric creatures, and Tyrantrum pulls that look off flawlessly. It may not have any real distinguishing features, aside from the scarf, but some Pokemon don't need additional features to look awesome, especially Tyrantrum. I would go into depth about its design if I could, but I can't because of its lack of distinguishing features, so let's move on to battling skills. Tyrantrum's BST is a solid 521, with the majority being polarized in attack and defense. The physical ones. Also, for abilities, Tyrantrum can have either Rock Head or Strong Jaw. Both are very good in their own way, so the choice is all yours. Onto move pool, Tyrantrum's is pretty diverse. It holds many potent attack moves and some good status moves. Yeah, this Pokemon's sounding pretty OP right about now, huh? Well, truth be told, it's not. Every Pokemon must have something to prevent them from being broken, and for Tyrantrum, that would be 6 weaknesses. Although 2 stab moves will deal with 2 of them, the other 4 share no weaknesses, so you'll have to pick which 2 to deal with and tough the other 2 out. But despite this, Tyrantrum is good in battle and has an epic design. And you know what? Type combination. Rock and Dragon, awesome. And therefore, it's easily my 97th favorite Pokemon of all time, no matter how many tantrums it throws. Number 96 is one of Sinnoh's late evolutions. You know, an evolution of a Pokemon from an earlier generation. I'll give you the biggest hint ever. It's a fire type. Yeah, it's Macmortar. Seriously, Sinnoh's lack of fire types just sucks. But let's not digress. Macmortar is a huge improvement from Magmar. It's pre-evolution. I mean, I do like Magmar, but again, Macmortar is a big improvement. The fire all over its body, the black armbands, and best of all, the arms. Macmortar can turn its hands into cannons, which it can use to attack. What could possibly be more epic than that? That one feature alone is what makes Macmortar's design epic. Again, but enough about design. Macmortar is also very useful in battle. 540 is a great BST, and that special attack is insane, and the rest of its stats aren't bad either. For abilities, Macmortar can have Flame Body or Vital Spirits, which are both great abilities. Another thing Macmortar has going for it is its move pool, which is quite diverse. Aside from leveling up, it has lots of options from the Egg, Tutors, and TMs. As for the anime, Paul's got a Macmortar. So what? It's strong, I guess, but we didn't get to see a whole lot of it. Yeah. Macmortar is great in battle and has a completely epic design, even if it is because of just one feature. This is why it earns 96th place. Number 95 is the other Kalos fossil Pokemon, Aurorus. Once again, I've always liked prehistoric creatures, and combine that with Aurorus' elegant look, and you've got one awesome Pokemon design. The eyes, the small crystals, and those flowing sails are extremely nice to look at. But Aurorus does way more than just look the part. It's also quite formidable in battle. What, you were expecting more design stuff? Sorry, that's all I got. Anyway, like Tyrantrum, Aurorus has a BST of 521. However, instead of good physical stats, Aurorus has better special stats. This makes it good at both giving and taking special damage. And that HP is pretty high too. Onto abilities, Aurorus can have Snow Warning and Refrigerate. In my book, they both work well on Aurorus, so the choice is yours. Aurorus also has a pretty big move pool. It may have quite a few type weaknesses, but if this big move pool is utilized well, that might not even be an issue. Also, Aurorus and Amara, its pre-evolution, are the only rock and ice type Pokemon. Yep, they're one of a kind, alright. Now I'm sure some of you are thinking, how could anyone possibly like Aurorus more than Tyrantrum? To that, I say I love them both, but I prefer Aurorus just by a small margin. Why, you may ask? Because it's my darn opinion, that's why! But let's not get sidetracked. Aurorus may not be the best fossil Pokemon, but it's certainly not the worst either. With both an elegant design and potent battling skills, Aurorus easily earns 95th place. Ever been to the beach? Ever see a kid make a huge sandcastle? Ever see that sandcastle get possessed by a ghost? If not, then you must be a real stranger to Palisand. I'm not saying I like sandcastles, because to be honest, I don't that much, but I just can't help but find this silly. A Pokemon based on a sandcastle. Man, what'll Game Freak come up with next? A teddy bear Pokemon? Oh wait. Anyway, yes, I like Palisand's origin. But not only that, I also like the design itself. 3 sandcastles together in one, with the middle one being the head and the other 2 being the arms. And its shovel. You ever wonder if Palisand takes it out of its head and uses it to attack? It doesn't seem to be able to learn any moves that could work with that, so I guess not. Man, talk about a missed opportunity. Anyway, Palisand has both an interesting origin and cool design, which is a great combination to have. Now onto its battling skills, Palisand doesn't have the best stats out there. I mean, I suppose they could be worse, but they could be a lot better also. Its move pool is pretty lackluster too, which would explain the whole shovel thing. But Palisand does have one asset to its battling skills, its signature ability, Water Compaction. Each time Palisand takes a water attack, its defense will rise 2 stages, making it harder and harder to defeat. Without any special attacks, that is. Palisand may not be the best battler, but the skills it does have, combined with the interesting design and origin, is what takes the cake and gives it 94th place. In terms of design, bug types tend to come up short. With some exceptions, many have nothing about them that makes them look cool or even worth mentioning. A lot of them are either girly, lackluster, or anything else you think makes a Pokemon's design look crappy. However, as I just said, there are some exceptions to this. One of my favorites being Vikavolt. I won't lie, I wasn't too happy that when Vikavolt and Charjabug came along, Joltik and Galvantula lost their signature typing, but honestly, I think Vikavolt pulls the type combination of Bug and Electric off better. Stag Beetles look so cool, and combine that with electricity, and you've got one badass Pokemon. I mean, just look at this thing. Do I really have to say anything? Okay, stupid question. Vikavolt has several cool features. The pincers, eyes, wings, electric abdomen. Actually, that's about it. But also making Vikavolt awesome are its battling capabilities. With a 500 base stat total, Vikavolt stats are formidable, especially that crazy special attack stat. And except for speed, the rest of its stats are good also. And Vikavolt's only ability is Levitate. Honestly, it'd work much better if Vikavolt were actually weak to ground, but I guess it could have a worse ability. As for move pool, Vikavolt can learn several powerful attacks, even ones that take care of its weaknesses. Vikavolt's 2 weaknesses, Rock and Fire, are both weak to water, so just teach it water-type hidden power. That, combined with its superb special attack stats, will make those weaknesses among the least of its worries. As even a blind person can see, Vikavolt has the complete package, an epic design and epic battling skills. It shouldn't surprise anyone that it's easily my 93rd favorite Pokemon of all time. Frosty the Snowman subtract the the snowman part, then add lass, then what do you get? Frostlass. If you want an Ice Queen, Frostlass is your girl, hands down. Her design is quite elegant and dignified, with many notable features. Her arms are attached to her head, she's got a ribbon on her stomach, her horns are made of pure ice, she's flipping gorgeous. Sorry, Gardevoir. Frostlass's design is very cool in many ways, but we can't ignore her battling skills. Her BST is 480, which is pretty good. The majority of that is in her speed, and the rest is pretty evenly balanced. So she could make for a good sweeper, I suppose. As for abilities, Snow Cloak and Cursed Body are both very useful. If you like increased evasion in Hail, then go for Snow Cloak, and if you like it when moves are disabled, then go for Cursed Body. Onto her move pool, in terms of both attacks and status moves, she's got lots of options. And because of this, she's good with type coverage. 5 weaknesses may be a lot, but Ghost will take care of itself, Wake Up Slap will take care of Rock, Dark, and Steel, and Water Pulse will cover Fire. In a nutshell, her move pool is very diverse and can work well with her abilities. So as you can probably tell by now, Frostlass can be very effective in battle, and her elegant design aids her likability also. With all that, Frostlass is indubitably my 92nd favorite Pokemon. Meteor plus smaller meteor plus even smaller meteor equals Weezing. Yeah, I'm sure some of you are confused right now, since most people think Weezing is one of those Pokemon that was made to be hated. But honestly, I just can't help but like Weezing. Its design, while quite strange, is cool since it's a meteor. Well, 3 meteors, with gas emitting from inside. Also, 2 of the meteors are actually alive, with a third just being there. Also, the biggest meteor has a skull and crossbones on its bottom, which I've always found to be a badass feature. I'll admit that I think Weezing would look better without the other 2 meteors, but it's still cool enough to make it onto my list. But there's more to Weezing than just design. Weezing's BST is 490, which is good, and just look at that defense. Quite a good physical wall, if you ask me. It may be lacking in special defense, but I guess you can't have everything. As for its move pool, actually, never mind, that's not really worth mentioning. But here's what I can mention. Poison types have 2 weaknesses, Psychic and Ground. However, Weezing's ability, Levitate, gives it complete immunity to the latter, leaving only the former to be concerned with. When dealing with Psychic types, Weezing can counter them with moves like Dark Pulse, Shadow Ball, Payback, and more. I would talk about Weezing's anime portrayal, but if the Pokemon I'm covering is owned by a member of Team Rocket, in this case, James, then I don't think I should, since, you know, no one likes Team Rocket. But forget that, Weezing. No matter who owns you, you're my 91st favorite Pokemon.